This is Milton, ex-cellmate of Wes Watson. As you all know, I recently dropped a video, an exclusive, exposing Wes Watson's big plans for when he gets released from prison, specifically that of the new enterprise that he's working on, where he's going to be designing custom prison wallets. And in this video, I have some exclusive content from you. And something that I didn't reveal in the last video was that I actually snuck from prison. I actually stole from Wes Watson the blueprints, the original blueprints that he had keistered from North Florida all the way to Miami-Dade in his prison wallet. And I'm going to show y'all those blueprints on this video. But before we go any further, I wanted to address something that's kind of going around right now about me possibly being Pinot. And what I wanted to do was address those allegations. Some people said in the comments, oh, that ain't nothing but Pinot. Pinot, we see you. And I want to tell you right now, I can neither confirm nor deny those allegations, because the whole purpose of me hiding my identity is not that you would know who I was and who I wasn't. And I can't go around claiming, hold on guys, I don't know what's going on, but I can't get this thing lit. It's almost like I put too much honey on it. And dang it, man. There it is. If I was Pinot, do you think I would be struggling to get this here thing lit? I mean, but like I said, I can neither confirm nor deny that I am or am not Pinot. And I have to leave it at that, because my identity must be protected, because if Wes Watson and his goons find out who I really am, it can go bad. So, as you know, we're in the protective custody unit in Miami-Dade County, and me and Wes are up there, and we're talking, and he's sharing all these grand ideas with me. And I'll never forget, one morning I'm sitting there, and I'm like, hey, Wes, want me to make you a cup of coffee? And he's like, that's your freaking problem right there. Every time you think you know me, you make a mistake. And I'm like, we've been drinking coffee for the last week now. I thought you wanted me to make a cup of coffee. I know you don't like it with no sugar. He's like, you think you freaking know me, and I don't freaking like it. And I'm like, whoa, man, my bad, Wes. I thought we were cool. He's like, no, we're not cool. Ever since we got here, you've been telling me that your mom was going to send $50 in, and we still haven't seen the $50. He said, you see, me and you, we're on different frequencies. And I'm like, yo, Wes, man, we're still cool, right? He's like, I don't know about the word cool. That's your problem again. You keep thinking you're programming with me, and I'm programming on a totally different frequency. And I'm like, Wes, I'm doing the best I can, man, to keep things, you know what I mean, kosher with me and you. And he said, that's another thing, man. You're sitting there telling me about kosher this and kosher that. You wouldn't know a kosher pickle if it slapped you right across the face. And I'm like, yo, Wes, man, chill, man. I'm like, do you still want your coffee? He's like, no, I don't need you to make my coffee, because I'll get one of those other dudes down there to make my coffee. I can get anybody to make coffee for me. And I'm like, all right, what do you want to do? He said, I want you to go outside the cell and turn the freaking TV off, because I'm tired of hearing it talking. All they do is watch the local news. And you know what they're talking about, the local news? And I'm like, what, the weather? He's like, no, they're talking about me. Nobody can stop talking about me. Every YouTube channel. And this is one of those days, I'm like, Wes sometimes just goes off. And anybody who knows Wes would tell you that Wes has these trigger moments, and you never know when the trigger moment's going to occur. And that was the first time that I really experienced a trigger moment, because sometimes he would just go off, and he'd be like, yeah, man, you know, I'm just chilling here, man. It's all good, man. Bring coffee in. And he'd be like, oh, man. And then he would settle back down. But this time, Wes was going clean off. And so I just left the cell. You know, I gave Wes, you know, some time to reflect. And that was one thing that I personally got good with, was talking to Wes and helping Wes sit back down on a bunk to reflect. And I was really interested, you know. I thought to myself, hey, look, Wes he's got this personality. And if me and him can get together, and I can get on his team, and I can become a part of this Wes Watson custom prison wallet enterprise that he is trying to build from the ground up while he's sitting here in prison, then, you know, maybe it'll change my life, you know, because one thing Wes was always talking about, you know, and I'll never forget, he's like, I mentor people on a different frequency. You know, it's like you sitting there and you see macros and micros, and you can't quite comprehend what macros and micros are, and you don't understand that even with frequencies, macros and micros do different things. The type of stuff that you can't see, soy, boy. And I'm like, yo, Wes, do you have to keep calling me soy boy? He said, you want me to call you something much worse than soy boy? And I'm like, nah, dude, just chill. And he looks at me, he says, I am chill, dude. He said, come on, man, just sit on the bunk. He's like, look, man, I want to apologize to you. And I said, no, it's all cool, Wes. He's like, nah, man, I got a lot of stuff on my mind, man. He's like, if you would have been through half the stuff that I've been through, you would understand how it feels to be me. And you would understand right now while I'm being attacked and why I'm being attacked in all directions from every type of frequency. You see, I need you to sit down and understand this, soy boy. I got frequencies coming at me from all directions. You understand? I got a lot of pressure on me. A lot of jobs are dependent upon me. And if I can't get my act together while I'm in here, so when I get out and get all my mentorships back and get all my clients back, you know what I mean? A lot of people who are depending on me are going to wind up, going into the welfare line. And I don't want to see nobody go into the welfare line. And you know what it is? He said, you don't know what it's like to have, all kind of Instagram models just throwing themselves at you. And I'm like, yeah, Wes, I don't know what that's like. He's like, you'll never know what it's like. And I'm like, man, why does he keep yelling at me? And then he's like, all right, you know what, my bad. I'm trying to wind down. I said, Wes, can we talk about the prison wallet enterprise that you I'm really interested in. Maybe my mom's $50 money order is going to be in late, but when I get out and I get a job at the Lyft and the Uber companies, delivering pizza to people in the projects, then maybe I can save some money and I can be kind of like part of your Kickstarter. He's like, I'm not having a Kickstarter for my Wes Watson custom prison wallet enterprise, and I don't need no soy boy like you jumping in. I said, kind of like that dude on Fresh and Fit. He said, don't you bring that up again. He said, why don't you drop right down and give me 18 burpees? And I'm like, dude, I'm doing the burpees. And I'm like, all right, cool, Wes. Whatever, calm down. And Wes was like, let me tell you something. When I was out there, I was hanging around with people who were wearing Timexes while I was wearing Rolexes. And I'm like, yeah, Wes, I know it. You had $500,000. He said $500,000 car. He said, dude, I drove a $500,000 car every freaking quarter of the day. And I'm like, Russ, that's impressive. I said, why would you drive a different one each quarter day? He said, because I had to go to each different home that I had my protein bars and my protein powders in a pantry in some millionaire's house that I was paying for his bills. And I'm like, Wes, yo, wind down, dude. He said, I'm not winding down. I'm wound up. He said, they got me locked up on these bad charges. And I said, yo, Wes, why'd y'all jump that dude in the gym? He said, we didn't jump that dude. He said, dude, I was so freaking amped up on protein powder and whatever else it was. I said, you don't want to say what it is. He said, why do I feel like you're trying to be my freaking psychiatrist? And I'm like, yo, Wes, cool it, man, dude. Cool it, man. And he gets in my face and my heart's pumping, y'all. I'm scared. I'm like, yo, this dude's going to tear me up, kind of like that dude in the gym. He's like, man, when I look at you, I see something that I don't like. I said, what's that? He said, I don't know, dude. He puts his hand back in his face like this. He's like, I sure do hope that at least at minimum I can keep my Rolexes. I hope she didn't take my Rolexes. I really hope she didn't take my Rolexes. I'm like, yo, who, Wes? He's like my Instagram model girlfriend who I just paid for everything that she had, you know what I mean, that was plastic and that was surgery. I'm like, yo, Wes, calm down. He's like, I can't calm down. And all of a sudden, he runs out the cell and jumps over the bars and he lands on the ground. And I'm thinking he's going to land on his feet because this dude's so freaking jacked and awesome that when he lands on the ground, he slips and boom, he's down there kicking like this. And I'm like, you okay? He's like, I'm okay. And other dudes will kind of come around and like, get away from me. Everybody get away from me. And he was totally melting down, dude. This was the moment that I thought, hey, Wes is surely going to change. No, but he didn't change. He's like, yo, I want to talk about prison wallets. And I'm like, yo, Wes, man, nobody's going to tell me to chill. And then Wes is like, all right, cool, man. And I'm like, all right. So I had to wait. From that spiel and that blow up that he had, it literally took about 2 days for Wes to calm down. And he comes to my cell. He's like, can I talk to you, dude? I'm like, sure. He's like, listen, man, you don't know why I'm wound up like I am. He's like, in Cali, we operate like this constantly. He said, the South is different. I said, I know, man. I've never been to Cali prison. He said, I know you hadn't, soy boy. And he said, when I was in Cali prison, I was running with the homeboys, me and Charlie Brown and Dope Sick, you know what I mean, and Monster Mayhem. And we were running the yard. And I told Monster Mayhem, I said, look, man, you're going to carry the iron in your prison wallet. And I told Charlie Brown, I said, listen, Charlie Brown, you're going to do what I say. You're going to carry everybody's paperwork in your wallet. And I'm like, good, we're getting somewhere. We're talking about paperwork because that's where we're going to get to this. I have a copy right here of Wes Watson's blueprint for his custom prison wallets. And we're going to cover this. And as you can see, these paperwork was in Wes Watson's prison wallet. And what's on here is top secret and exclusive. If Wes knows that I'm the one who's doing this, and keep in mind, man, there's a lot of people in protective custody, so he doesn't really know who I am, so I'm hoping he doesn't know who I am. But this right here is going to change everything. And I'm going to show it to y'all in the next video. So stick around to the next episode, and I'm going to show y'all exactly what Wes Watson's plans are.